Cost lesson 3.2, we're in still mathematics of buying and selling, but we will now discuss concepts or topics under markup and markdown. So one of the concerns of entrepreneurs in starting a business is to gain profit. To do this, entrepreneurs must set an acceptable price in the market in a way that they can still gain a profit. So in this lesson, you will be introduced to different formulas and concepts under markup and markdown, wherein you will be taught how entrepreneurs can set up an acceptable selling price for a certain product. So let us now proceed with markup. So in mathematics, when we say markup is the difference between the selling price and the cost. Or in the book, markup is defined as the amount of money that entrepreneurs add to the cost of the product, whether the cost is for the raw materials or the cost for the ready-made products, so that when they sell them, they can cover up the initial expenses and make a profit. So, yung amount na ina-add natin dun sa cost ng isang product is tinatawag na markup. Yung markup na yun yung nagsisilbing profit ng isang entrepreneur. And then, markup can be computed into two ways. The first one is markup based on cost, and the second one is markup based on selling price. What's the difference between the two? Actually, there's no much difference between computing markup based on cost and computing markup based on selling price. The only difference is that markup based on cost is usually used by manufacturers or entrepreneurs that produce their own goods. So, obviously, yung markup based on cost ay kino-compute siya using the cost for the raw materials. For example, 'di ba, meron ngayon na nauuso sa mga online business na sila yung nagpo-produce ng goods nila or ng products nila, then they will sell it. So, if that's the case, yung pag-compute nila ng markup will be based on cost using the raw materials. Next, the second type of markup is the markup based on selling price. Pagka naman markup based on selling price, it is used by resellers or those entrepreneurs who bought ready-made products, or yung pinaka common na example dito is yung sa mga resellers ng mga beauty products, 'di ba? Hindi naman sila yung gumagawa ng beauty products, but instead, meron lang silang kinukuhanan ng beauty product tapos nire-resell lang nila. So pagka reseller ka, under ka ng markup based on selling price. Pero if you will produce your own goods, you will be under markup based on cost. So, that's the difference between markup based on cost and markup based on selling price. So, let's now proceed with the word problems under markup based on cost and markup based on selling price. The formulas that you will use in computing problems under markup based on cost. So, we have two main formulas, and that is MU is equal to R sub MUC multiplied by C, where MU is your markup, R sub MUC is the rate of markup based on cost. Again, rate of markup based on cost multiplied by cost. So, ulitin ko, the first formula that we will use for markup based on cost is MU, where MU is your markup, is equal to R sub MUC, where R sub MUC is the rate of markup based on cost multiplied by cost. And then the second formula is selling price, SP, is equal to cost plus the markup, or MU. Again, selling price is equal to cost plus markup. So, let's proceed with the problems under markup based on cost. Problem number 1 under markup based on cost. A new pair of shoes costs 5,500 pesos. The rate of markup based on the cost is 15%. What are the selling price and markup? So, malalaman natin if the given problem is under based on cost if you can see a phrase na based on cost or synonymous na phrase sa based on cost. So, opo, sinasabi yun sa problem directly, so that you will know if you have to use formulas under markup based on cost or formulas under markup based on the selling price. So, in solving these problems, we will still follow the same format na given, find, and solution. So, let's start with the given. So, for the given, we have the first numerical value as 5,500. Ngayon, analyzing, 5,500 is the cost. Bakit? Kasi ayun, directly sinabi sa problem na a new pair of shoes costs 5,500 pesos. So, obviously, 5,500 is the cost. You can use abbreviations. No need to spell out. Next, the rate of markup based on the cost is 15%. So, 15% is equal to, the abbreviation for rate of markup based on cost is R sub MUC. Kailangan pong ilagay yung based on cost or yung C for this one kasi para hindi kayo malito if what formula are you going to use. And then, since this is in percent, we have to rewrite this one as a decimal number since we cannot compute numbers with the percent symbol. So, 15% will become 0.15. Next, what is the unknown for this problem? The question asks for what are the selling price and markup. So, we have to look for the selling price, SP, and then markup, MU. So, again, you can use abbreviations po. No need to spell out. Naiintindihan na natin yun. So, next, let's now have the solution for this one. So, we cannot directly solve for the selling price kasi selling price, the formula for selling price is cost plus markup. We don't have value for the markup. So, we have to get or we have to identify the value for markup first before we can proceed with the value for the selling price. So, computing for the markup, again, the formula for markup is MU is equal to rate of markup based on cost multiplied by the cost. So, no need to write the formula. I just wrote it down. Next, substituting the values we have. Kanina ang given values natin is the rate of markup is 0.15 multiplied by the cost which is equivalent to 5,500. You can use a dot o kaya naman parentheses. So, doing that in our calculator, 0.15 multiplied by 5,500, the answer will be 825 pesos. So, our markup is 825. So, since we already have the value for the markup, we can now solve for the selling price. So, the formula for selling price again is cost plus markup. Substituting the values, the cost is 5,500 plus the markup na 825. Using your calculator, 5,500 plus 825, the answer is 6,325 pesos. So, the selling price is 6,325 given na the rate of markup should be 15% and your cost is 5,500 pesos.